Hey friends, welcome back to another book review session of my personal book club, hashtag one book at a time. My name is Wawa. I'm a bookish person and also a business analyst based here in KL. I make bookish content. I talk about journaling. I talk about productivity, tips around my 9 to 5 as a BA, and also sometimes a sprinkle of updates around my personal life. Hello, welcome. So today I am going to talk about the book that make me reflect on the struggles of the immigrants, struggle that often don't make a conversations in the mainstream social media and mainstream conversations. This book is called Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. I make a mistake in my February club. When I introduced this book, I actually mentioned the author name as Hamid Mohsin instead of Mohsin Hamid. So it's actually Mohsin Hamid. If you watched that video, sorry for the mistake. And yeah, this is the book that I actually read in March, and I had a good time reading this. If this is your first time being here, hello, welcome. And this is how I actually structure my book review. First, I will give an appreciation on the book cover. We all love nice book cover. We all judge a content by book cover usually, at least for me. If you're not, good for you. And first, with the appreciations of the book cover, then I'll jump into the spoilery or non-spoilery thoughts around what I like, what I don't like about the book, and then I'll jump straight into the overall rating of the book that I've read that month. So this book is gifted by a friend of mine. She is a bookstagram. She has like 5,000 followers on Instagram. She's quite big, and her name is Andrea. Thanks, Andrea, for this. And also a fun fact, Exit West was also shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize 2017. So it is very interesting. When I first picked up this book, I did not make any research. I only read through the summary on Goodreads, and I just excited to read it because there's a magical realism theme around this book content, as how it was mentioned in the review in Goodreads. All right, let's give the appreciations to the book cover. Let's talk about it. Does it really visually capture the essence of the story? To a certain extent, yes. The mysterious door that brings you to a new life by just stepping through it. And from the book cover, with all the blue sky, birds in the sky, the clear pathway, it gave us like a happy ending and a hope to the other side of the world. And then on this side of the world, with a cage, and then the rib wall, hinting at a world that feels broken, feels like a cage, feels restrictive, and it is a simple illustration, but yet powerful. And I love how instantly this book actually made me curious on what is it about inside as the content. Alright, Exit West is a historical fiction novel with a touch of magical realism. At least this is what it says at the cover, and then also the summary in the good reviews. Is set in an unnamed city in the middle of civil war, and then we have two characters, and these characters, Nadia and Syed, who meet and develop a relationship, a very complicated relationship at the beginning, as their home become increasingly unsafe. This mysterious door somehow appears across the world, and the door does allow you to travel through it and bring you to a new country in an instant. So when the city falls deeper into chaos, both of them, Nadia and Syed, are forced to flee, and then their journey takes them through different places. And there are three places that were mentioned here: Greek island, and then London, and then California. And when they try to build a fresh life, they also have to go through a journey and changes with their personality, with their behavior, with their mindset. And the door in the story, I take it as a metaphor for migration, but at the same time, they function as a literal door that brings you from one place to another place. And instead of taking dangerous boat rides and travel across the borders with all the wars that's happening, refugees can actually step through these doors and only to find themselves in a new place, in a new country, hoping to get a better life and waiting to be accepted. So this book, entire content of this book is all about that journey, is all about Said and Nadia's journey as an immigrant. All right, what I really like about the book is that I love how the book actually brings me on a journey on understanding what truly means to be a refugee, and then constant need to be accepted, the constant need to adapt, the fear of the unknown, and also the struggle just to survive with so little with them. And then it really made me reflect on the real world, the issues and the challenges that I usually take for granted, and how blessed I am to live in a country that doesn't have to go through these struggles. The decisions to leave Nadia and Said from this unknown city, I feel that the storyline is very clever, and because it reflects on the reality that's happening now, and then it leaves a room for interpretation because you didn't mention which country they came from, and it leaves that room to allow the readers to connect to their own knowledge and experiences. So that being said, my curiosity has taken the best of me. I had to look up who is Mohsin Hamid and where he came, his origin country, and it turns out that he's from Pakistan, and make me wonder maybe he was writing it from a perspective as a Pakistani. So Nadia and Said were meant to be coming from that country, or maybe they were also coming from a Middle Eastern country close to, which is also close to Greek island. And the ambiguity was frustrating at times because you keep wonder where they came from, what kind of culture they brought with them. But also it kept my mind engaged with the story. So I find it very clever. The first part of the book was beautifully written, no doubt. I like the way Nadia and Said met, the slow collapse of their city, the cultural restrictions, the issues that they had to face with the politics, especially around how women is being perceived. And I find it very immersive and emotional. The writing style is very fluid. It feels like you're drifting through times. It's like a stream of consciousness and a lot of perspective just in one sentence. One moment you feel like this, and then in the same sentence you start feeling fear and then tension of the journey that Said and Nadia has to go through. And then even though the magical doors weren't explored in depth, I found myself making sense of them as a metaphor for the difficult migrants issues, or how they face these issues when they leaving behind their lives and try to cross the borders. This author explore themes of migration, loss, love, and human resilience, no doubt. So there are a lot of quotes that I actually find very relatable, very beautiful, and is also famous quotes captured by a lot of readers out there. So the first one is, "We are all migrants through time." It's a short one, but it highlights that migration is not just a physical, but also is a temporal, because time changes, time is fluid, and everyone experiences changes, whether through aging, shifting relationship, shifting places, and evolving societies. So even though those who never leave home, they are still moving through time, and they are also adapting to new realities. So it applies to everyone in any kind of situation and experiences. So I love this quote. The second one, "When we migrate, we murder from our lives those we leave behind." And this means, for me, migration involves deep personal loss. When people leave their homeland, they often lost relationship, they often lost their family, the memories and the sense of belonging, because you're going to a place that is unknown. You got to adapt with the new people. So it's a painful transformation, almost like murdering your past just to get a new life. And then the third one, "Every time a door closed, a new adventure began." This is very literal translation, metaphorical doors in the novel. So the magical doors represent escape and opportunity, but they also force people into uncertainty. And then it reflects how every loss or ending leads to a new beginning. And even though it's frightening, it is something that you do it anyway. What he's trying to say, his perspective, I think Mohsin was trying to challenge us as a reader to see migration not as an anomaly but as a universal human experience, and is a beautiful experience to actually read through these stories and not taking it as a literal, which I did at first, and that got me into a situation that I almost want to put the book down. As much as I like this book, maybe I'm not familiar with Mohsin writing style. This book left me with a lot of unanswered questions. So, where exactly the doors came from? How did they work? What happened to some of the characters who played important roles in the story that meant so much to Nadia and Saeed? What about their time in San Francisco? And the list goes on. And the love story for me is a bit in balance. There was a strong focus on their changing physical desires, but I wish more time had been spent on the emotional depth of their refugee experiences. I get what the author was trying to do, because he's trying to show that intimacy plays a role in coping with trauma, but I still wanted more depth in the characters. I'm into the characters experiences, I'm into their personality, I'm into POV, maybe not so much of love story. Maybe that's what's stopping me to enjoy the book. As much as I appreciate the poetic writing style, some sentences felt overloaded. Like I said, because it's fluid, there's a lot of information. The author was trying to say and tell a lot of things and everything all at once. At times, I felt like the story was rushing to wrap itself and try to get to the end of the story so quickly, and it felt a bit forced. And the ending is kind of drifted off. I don't think it's memorable, and while I think that was intentional for him, I personally wanted more closure. I'm not sure, it feels like there would be a second book, but if there's not, then I just feel that it's just not enough closure for me. What happened to the doors? How did the world adapt to all these magical doors that just appearing across the world? And is there a regulations around this? How does the magic system work in this? And is it really just a metaphor? And where did Nadia and Said end up emotionally after everything? And like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of questions are unanswered for me. All right, time for overall rating. Do I love this book? Yes. Do I think that it could have been better? Also, yes. I love the premise, I love the concept, I love the overall storyline, but I also had my frustrations. Maybe because I'm not very familiar with Mohsin writing style, the fluid style kind of writing, and I need to do more research. I need to read more books with the same theme and same writing style. But would I recommend it to you? Yes. But with a disclaimer, of course, if you enjoy books that explore migration, identity, a lot of relationship stories with more of a romantic focus, with physical scene, while weaving into minor magical realism, you might love this. But if you're expecting deep world building with the magical realism first, and then a strong element of refugee with all these informations of the historical facts, then you have to manage your expectation like me.
Hey, is editing Wawa here? I just realized that I lost the footage where I talk about the overall rating of the book. I think I was giving this book about 3.8 out of 5. Yeah, so basically it hits all the checklists that I had in mind. Like I said, it had a problem with some areas of the book, but overall is an entertaining kind of book. And if you like, just go ahead and grab the book and let me know once you read it. Come back here and let me know in the comments below, and we can talk about it. Bye. Happy reading.
All right, before you go, I want to share with you the book that we're going to read in April, which is The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Bremer. Debut novel, first novel written by the author, and it's also nominated for Goodreads Choice Award in 2023. And the story follows this girl named Clover. She is a woman who helps people to transit into peaceful during their final days, and she also collect advices and collect their words in 3 notebooks that she kept, which is the advice, confessions, and regrets. But after spending so much time dealing with death and dying people, she realized that she forgot how to find joy and how to live. And I think this book explore grief, explore healing, and finding joy again. And this is the theme, this is the period of time that I'm in, that situation and that emotion, and I feel that this book is going to be something that I would enjoy. And if you're interested to read this book, tag me on Instagram, let me know. We could read together and we can discuss about the review next month. Also, recently I just relaunched my newsletter again, and it's not something new, it's just I have put a pause to it for a year, and I'm trying to coming back to my writing, and it's going to be my little commonplace to gather my thoughts, to talk about books that are on my mind, things that I've learned, how I bring order to my creative chaos, and also the skills that I hone from my 9 to 5 and how I applied them into my personal life. It's going to be more candid than my YouTube vlog and blog posts. So if that sounds like your vibe, click on the link below in the description and subscribe to my newsletter. We can chat there. Who knows? We can be friends. Thanks for hanging out with me today in my tiny library. And please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me to grow my tiny community on this internet. My goal is to hit 100 subscribers before my birthday, which is in May. I don't know whether it's gonna happen. If algorithm allow me to, I'm gonna hit 100 before my birthday this year. Well, see you next time. Bye bye.